Hello and welcome to this episode of City Girl Country. I was getting ready to make some spaghetti squash fettuccine alfredo, and I opened up my spaghetti squash and got kind of a big surprise. And that is that the seeds inside the spaghetti squash had sprouted. So I decided that since I love spaghetti squash and they're kind of expensive, I might as well do a little experiment. So this is my spaghetti squash experiment. So when I was cooking, I didn't really have time to work on it, so I put a little bit of water in the bottom and I set these for a couple of days. I wish I would have put just a little bit more water because they were easy to separate and the ones that were on top kind of dried out a little bit. And I didn't really know, you can take a look in here, which end was up or which end was down. So I pulled them out, and some of them you could see had little roots starting at the bottom of them. So that's how I knew which end to plant up. And I've already pulled what I planted out of here, but I separated them and I watched a video, and they're supposed to be very delicate. So I was as gentle as I could be with them, and who knows what's going to happen with this. But so then I had my container, and this is a number 5 container, and what I like about it is this is solid all the way up to here, and then all of this is vented, so the water will fill it up to here and let it flow out. And then I took and planted them. I took these cups that I had bought for something else, so I had a bunch of them, and I popped a hole in the bottom of them. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. So popped a hole in the bottom of each of them so that water could come up through the container. Put a little bit of dirt in the bottom so that the water would stay in there and also help hold them in place a little bit. And then I heard that little seedlings might attract birds that would think that they were tasty, and I don't want them going after. So I watch, I think it's Robbie and Gary. They have a YouTube channel, and I have a link to them in my Telegram, and I'll put one in the videos because she's like my inspiration for a lot of things. So anyhow, she's the one that I watched doing the tote. She doesn't have a little tote like this, but I thought this was great for seedlings. So anyhow, these totes also come with a lid, and I had gotten the mesh, which is the tool from, just a roll of tulle, and I don't even know if you can see that, it's so fine. But what I did was my hubby, who's a very sweet and handy and helpful guy, cut out the center of this, and this was really nice because it had a lip right here, so it was a really good guide for him. And then he punched the holes in it. And what I did then was I drew a circle. I taped 2 pieces of paper together. I drew a circle around it with a magic marker. And then I couldn't get anything into here, so it was very tight. So I took a pin apart and just used the ink inside. Now, I don't know where that went, and to draw my little circles on the inside. And I marked this paper with the dot, and then on the inside border with another line, so that I could see where to put my 4-inch cable ties. So I then took and cut my tool out to the size of the pattern. And then I stuck going from this way, from the inside out, I stuck through like this into the tool, and it just pokes through. I thought I was going to have to cut it, and I tried to cut one, and I was like, wow, this is going to be a pain, and I just tried to poke them through. But I do have some pictures. I will have some pictures up on Telegram with some specific steps on that, some step-by-step instructions. But basically, I put them through all the way, and then I pulled them. I put them in loose, and then I pulled them tight, and I set them down here just to make sure I was on the right one, and made sure that my marks lined up. And then after I laid down the tool, I put a mark on the tool with the pen, with the Sharpie, so I could see where I was going to be poking through on this. So that's a pretty important step. So it was really super easy, and I don't even know if I needed to go through all of this, seeing as how it just kind of popped through. I probably could have just cut a square and then started sticking it through, but this just seemed a little bit easier to me. So that just sits on there, and will hopefully, while these little babies are growing, just keep the birds out. And I had to do this really quick because we're getting ready to go to Orlando for a couple of days, and I'm going to sit these out on my porch, and I will see what happens at that point. All right. Thank you for stopping by for this episode of City Girl Country. Signing off.